Gentlemen, let's talk about something real, something raw, something most men don't talk about, yet all experience in silence. You see, as men age, society tells them to slow down, to quiet their desires, to accept decline as inevitable. But that's not truth. That's conditioning. Today, I want to open your eyes to a truth older men wish they had known sooner: the incredible, transformative power of healthy self-intimacy. For decades, many men have been taught that masturbation is something to be ashamed of, something childish or unmanly. But science, psychology, and life experience say otherwise. Masturbation, when approached with respect for your body, is not a weakness. It's a wellness tool. It improves blood flow, balances hormones, and even protects the prostate. That's right. Regular, moderate self-pleasure supports the very gland that often causes men trouble as they age. It's not about indulgence, it's about maintenance. Think of it like stretching your muscles, keeping circulation active, keeping your body aware that life is still flowing through it. And it's not just physical. Many older men battle loneliness, anxiety, and sleepless nights. What if I told you that self-intimacy could actually calm the nervous system, release endorphins, and improve sleep? You see, as testosterone levels fluctuate, many men notice mood swings or fatigue. The simple act of knowing and nurturing your body helps restore balance. It reconnects you to the rhythm of your own masculinity. This isn't about lust, it's about life force. But here's the second truth: confidence. With age comes wisdom, but it can also come with doubt. The mirror changes, stamina shifts, and suddenly, the man you see feels different. You may begin to question your vitality, your desirability, your spark. And yet, hidden in the act of self-awareness, of taking time to understand what brings you peace, joy, and release, you can reclaim that confidence. Self-intimacy reminds you that pleasure is not reserved for the young. It belongs to anyone who's alive enough to feel. It keeps the connection between mind and body vibrant. Older men often discover too late that avoiding touch, denying desire, doesn't make them stronger. It makes them disconnected. And when you lose connection with your own body, you begin to lose connection with your partner, your joy, your drive for life itself. You start to shrink, not because of age, but because of shame. The truth is, your body is still capable of sensation, of pleasure, of healing. And the sooner you accept that, the more you'll enjoy the years ahead. So here's what I want every man listening to remember: this isn't a taboo conversation, it's a health conversation. Self-intimacy is about presence. It's about slowing down, breathing deeply, being grateful for the body that has carried you through decades of living. It's about understanding that pleasure doesn't fade with time. It evolves. It deepens. And when you honor that, you rediscover a strength that no wrinkle, no gray hair, no passing year can take from you. Gentlemen, your vitality is still there. Your masculinity is still there. It's waiting for you to reconnect, to move without shame, to feel without guilt, and to live with intention. It's not too late to learn what your body has been whispering all along: that pleasure, connection, and confidence are timeless. And when you embrace that truth, you don't just age, you evolve. Let's talk about something that most men rarely allow themselves to explore with honesty: the hidden health power of self-intimacy. When we think about masturbation, especially in the context of older men, the conversation is often wrapped in silence, embarrassment, or misunderstanding. But let's remove the stigma and call it what it truly is: a natural, deeply personal act that carries immense physical, emotional, and even spiritual benefits when understood through the lens of health and vitality. You see, as men age, the body changes. Hormonal shifts occur, blood circulation slows, the prostate enlarges, and sleep patterns begin to falter. Many older men begin to feel like their bodies are betraying them. They experience reduced stamina, diminished libido, and a fog that clouds their once sharp energy. But here's the truth. Most men wish they knew sooner. The act of mindful self-intimacy can be one of the most powerful natural tools to support these very systems. Let's start with the prostate, that small but mighty gland that plays a crucial role in male health. Research has shown that regular ejaculation helps clear out old seminal fluid, reducing the risk of stagnation and inflammation in the prostate. It's like giving your internal plumbing system a regular flush to keep it clean and functioning smoothly. Older men who practice healthy masturbation habits often report fewer prostate issues, less discomfort, and even a lower risk of enlargement. And it's not about frequency, it's about consistency and awareness, knowing your body's rhythm and responding to it with care. Then there's circulation. With aging comes a decline in blood flow, especially in the pelvic region. Erections may become weaker, not because desire disappears, but because circulation weakens. Masturbation helps keep the blood vessels active, improving oxygenation and function. Think of it as a natural form of pelvic exercise. Every time you engage in healthy self-stimulation, you're maintaining muscle tone, stimulating nerve pathways, and reminding your body that this part of you is still alive, still capable, still powerful. But physical benefits are only one side of the story. The emotional and psychological impact is just as profound. Self-intimacy triggers the release of dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins, the body's natural feel-good chemicals. These neurotransmitters help fight anxiety, elevate mood, and promote a deep sense of relaxation. For older men who struggle with loneliness, stress, or depression, this can be transformative. You're not just satisfying a desire, you're supporting your mental health. You're giving your brain a signal that you are still capable of joy, still deserving of comfort. And then comes sleep, that elusive rest that becomes harder to find with age. One of the most overlooked benefits of self-pleasure is how effectively it promotes restful sleep. The release of prolactin and oxytocin after orgasm induces relaxation, lowering stress hormones like cortisol. This helps the body transition naturally into deeper sleep cycles. Many older men who adopt healthy self-intimacy practices report falling asleep faster and waking up with more energy and clarity. But beyond the biological science lies something deeper: a reconnection to the self. Many men, especially as they grow older, begin to feel disconnected from their bodies. Society teaches men to value productivity, strength, and control. And when age begins to soften those qualities, men can feel lost. Self-intimacy, when approached mindfully, becomes an act of self-love. It's a moment where you say to yourself, I still belong to me. It's not just about release. It's about awareness. It's about learning to listen to your body's cues, respecting its limits, and celebrating its capabilities. When you embrace this understanding, you stop seeing masturbation as an act of shame or secrecy and start seeing it as a celebration of vitality. It becomes part of your self-care routine, just like eating well, exercising, or meditating. It's a practice that reminds you that pleasure and health are not separate. They are deeply intertwined. So, let's redefine the narrative. Self-intimacy is not something you outgrow with age. It's something that evolves with you. It's not indulgence. It's maintenance. It's not weakness. It's wisdom. The sooner older men recognize this truth, the sooner they can reclaim control over their bodies and their well-being. Because at the end of the day, understanding and nurturing your body is one of the most powerful, liberating acts of self-respect you can perform. Gentlemen, your body is still capable. Your desires are still valid. And the connection between health and self-intimacy is not a secret to be hidden. It's a strength to be embraced. The hidden power of this simple act lies not just in pleasure, but in healing, balance, and longevity. It's not too late to rediscover it. And when you do, you'll find that your body still holds more vitality, more wisdom, and more life than you ever imagined. Reclaiming confidence and connection. It sounds simple, doesn't it? Yet for Many older men, it's one of the most profound and often painful challenges they face. Aging brings wisdom, yes, but it also brings change. Changes in the body, energy, libido, and self-image. The mirror reflects a man he doesn't fully recognize anymore, and sometimes that reflection quietly steals confidence. But here's what too many men discover too late. Self-intimacy, when embraced without shame, can become the bridge back to confidence, connection, and the deep vitality they thought was gone forever. Let's start with the truth that few dare to speak out loud. Confidence isn't just about strength, money, or social standing. It's about feeling alive inside your own body. It's about knowing that your energy, your passion, and your sense of masculinity are still very much intact. But with age, many men stop paying attention to their own needs. They stop touching, exploring, and connecting with their own bodies because they fear what they might discover. A slower response, a weaker erection, a sense that things are no longer the same. And so they quietly begin to disconnect. That disconnection is dangerous, not just for your body, but for your soul. Because when a man disconnects from his body, he loses the very spark that drives his confidence, his creativity, and his emotional resilience. Self-intimacy is not just about sexual release. It's about reclaiming ownership of your body. It's about saying, I am still here, I am still capable, I am still powerful. It's a way of re-establishing the link between your mind and your body, between desire and dignity. Now let's talk about relationships, because this is where many older men suffer silently. As the years go by, physical intimacy with a partner can become less frequent or more challenging. Health issues, medications, or emotional barriers can build distance. But rather than communicating or exploring new forms of closeness, many men retreat inward, convinced that this chapter of life is over. Here's where self-intimacy can become a teacher, not a replacement for connection, but a reminder of what connection feels like. When you take time to understand your own body, to feel what brings comfort or joy, you become more emotionally aware, more patient, more attuned. That awareness naturally extends to your partner. You begin to understand that intimacy is not only about performance, it's about presence. It's about being in the moment, breathing deeply, connecting through touch, through laughter, through energy. Many older men who rediscover self-intimacy report feeling more confident and compassionate in their relationships, less anxious about performance and more focused on connection. And let's not forget, confidence is contagious. When a man feels connected to himself, he radiates it. His posture changes. His voice deepens with calm assurance. His eyes carry warmth instead of insecurity. He begins to live with a quiet kind of pride that doesn't depend on age or physical perfection. It's the kind of confidence that says, I've lived, I've learned, and I'm still growing. That is deeply attractive, not only to others, but to life itself. For too long, society has painted aging as decline, a slow fading away of relevance, passion, and physical vitality. But that's a lie. The truth is, every stage of life holds its own flavor of strength, and the secret lies in learning to adapt, to reconnect, and to accept your evolving self with grace. Masturbation, in this deeper sense, becomes an act of mindfulness, a private meditation on your own existence. It's about slowing down, breathing, feeling gratitude for the body that has carried you through decades of challenges and triumphs. It's a form of self-respect that says, I honor this vessel. I honor the life within it. As you practice self-intimacy, you may find that confidence doesn't come from what your body can do, but from how deeply you connect with it. You rediscover sensations, learn patience, and gain acceptance. You realize that pleasure doesn't always have to be intense or fast. Sometimes it's soft, slow, and meaningful. And in that realization, shame begins to melt away. You stop comparing yourself to your younger self, because you finally understand that this version of you, right now, is equally worthy of joy. Reclaiming connection also means rediscovering emotional intimacy, not just with a partner, but with yourself. Many older men have spent decades suppressing emotion, taught that vulnerability equals weakness. But through self-intimacy, you learn that vulnerability is strength. You begin to listen to what your heart, your body, and your spirit are trying to say. You learn to move with compassion toward yourself instead of judgment. And that inner kindness transforms everything: your confidence, your relationships, and your outlook on life. So, let this be the message. Confidence doesn't fade with age. It simply waits to be rediscovered. And the path to rediscovery begins with connection. Connection to your body, your emotions, and your inner self. The act of self-intimacy isn't about lust. It's about learning to feel alive again. When you touch yourself with respect, you remind your body that it still belongs to you. When you allow pleasure without guilt, you remind your spirit that joy has no expiration date. Reclaiming confidence and connection is not about turning back time. It's about embracing the man you've become and realizing that his story is still unfolding. The fire inside you never went out. It only needed a little breath, a little awareness, a little courage to reignite. Gentlemen, life doesn't end when youth fades. It transforms. Every wrinkle, every gray hair, every scar is proof that you've lived, that you've endured, that you've gathered wisdom along the way. But what too many men forget is that growth doesn't stop just because the years advance. The body may change, yes, but vitality, real, deep, soulful vitality, can be reignited at any age. The secrets older men wish they had known sooner aren't really secrets at all. They're truths that were buried beneath shame, silence, and old cultural myths. The truth that self-intimacy isn't sin, it's self-care. That connection to your body isn't weakness, it's power. That pleasure isn't indulgence, it's healing. And that confidence doesn't disappear with age. It evolves through awareness and acceptance. You see, when a man learns to understand his own body, when he replaces shame with gratitude, when he honors his physical and emotional needs without apology, something shifts inside him. He begins to walk taller, think clearer, and love deeper. He becomes not just older, but wiser, freer, more alive. Masturbation, in its truest form, is not about lust. It's about life. It's about maintaining the spark of health, balance, and joy that keeps a man's spirit young. It's about remembering that your body is not your enemy. It's your oldest friend, your most loyal companion. And when you learn to listen to it, to care for it, to connect with it, you find strength you didn't know you still had. So, to every man listening, release the shame. Reclaim the power that was always yours. Treat your body with curiosity, patience, and respect. Remember that desire is not a burden. It's a sign of life flowing through you. And every time you honor that life, you renew your energy, your confidence, and your capacity for love. Age may touch your skin, but it cannot dull your spirit unless you let it. Your masculinity doesn't expire. Your ability to feel, to connect, to experience pleasure and purpose, those are timeless. You just have to be brave enough to embrace them. This isn't just advice. It's a reminder, a call to every man who's ever felt like time was slipping away. It's not too late to return home to yourself. The power, the peace, the pleasure, and the confidence you seek are already within you. All you have to do is reconnect.